Diane Eicher, and along with Lori Sivanen, we will be doing the service for you this morning, with you. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco and Biddeford. We also want to welcome those who are joining us on YouTube and encourage you to have a candle or chalice to light when we light ours here in a few moments. And we want to make a special welcome to the leprechaun who has joined us today. We are so honored. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad you're here with us today. The theme for the month of March is transformation. We invite you to carry that theme with you as you are with us today and into your daily life when you leave us today. We strive to be a green sanctuary. It gives roots and wings to our vision of a world where all people build toward a sustainable future and make reverence, gratitude, and care for the living earth central to our lives. We want to acknowledge that our building sits on the land of the Wabanaki Confederation, which includes the Abenaki, Maliseet, Micmac, Passamaquoddy, and Penobscot nations. We invite you to take home the order of service for information and announcements, or you may leave it for recycling as you exit the sanctuary. Please silence your cell phones. There will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service. Just follow the crowd down to the other end of the building. Thank you.
Morning. Some of you may have heard me talk about my temple bell in the past. So if you haven't, I just want to share, in the 20s, my grandfather worked for Mrs. and Mr. Hood Dairy Farm, and he was in one of their dairy farms. He was the manager in Massachusetts. And Mrs. and Mr. Hood went to China and brought back this temple bell that then used to be used to call in all the farm hands. So it had a huge amount of much bigger dents in it. When the Great Depression came, they had to let my grandfather go, but they gave him the bell. And about 20 years ago, a cousin said, "Hey, we've got this thing in the attic, and I think it's supposed to come to you." And so I'm very excited to get to share that. So you can just listen to the bell and just settle in and bring yourself present.
Good morning. We're calling this service Transforming Despair, an Act of Hope and Defiance. It's based on a blog post by the Reverend Anna Madsen of the OMG Center for Theological Conversation. It happens to be located on the shores of Lake Superior in Minnesota, northern Minnesota. The readings we will be doing are essentially her words with a few small adaptations to fit our service. We'll try to be clear as to when we're speaking in her voice and when in ours. This writing is particularly close to my heart because Reverend Anna is the daughter of my college roommate, Marjorie Stensley, and her husband, also my classmate, Reverend George Madsen. We hope you'll enjoy her words as much as we have.
And if you can join me with lighting our chalice. This is our sacred promise to gather together in peace, to seek truth and love, to serve human need, so that all shall grow in harmony with the divine. So Reverend Anna Madsen says, in my somewhat cobbled together vocation as a theological question fielder, the closest I get to a tagline is that I always have a response, but rarely have answers. Frustratingly, on occasion, the closest we can get to truth is to acknowledge that honestly, we haven't a clue. We just don't always know for sure. And in fact, nobody always knows for sure. And there you have it. And despite everything I just said, sometimes it is in fact possible to give something closer to an answer than a response. Case in point, beauty, joy, self-care, and passion. These days, I'm being asked to question more than some version of this. How do we fight the despair that is everywhere and overtaking us all? It is a good question. How do we fight the despair that is everywhere and overtaking us all? It's a pressing question, and it's a question that has a shot and an answer. And here it is. Drum roll. Saturate yourself in beauty, joy, self-care, and passion. I'm not saying it's an easy answer, and I'm not saying that it can be done immediately or consistently. But I am saying that each in their own ways, beauty, joy, self-care, and passion, defy death. And what are we people of faith more than defying death? So we're going to sing a song, and you can stand if you're so inclined. And this song was written for the songwriter's mother around the time of her passing. So it goes like this, and my hope is that we can get a round going, so one side and the other side. It's, we're born, we live, we die, we're gone, but love goes on. And that's it. So we're gonna try it everybody through twice, and then we'll start one half, and then the other half will come in. So stand if you're inclined, whatever works best. So we're going to start, everybody. We're born, we live, we die, we're gone, but love goes on and on. We're born, we live, we die, we're gone, and love goes on and on. This side. We're born, we live, we die, we're gone. We're born, we live, we die, we're gone, but love goes on and on. We're born, we live, we die, we're gone, but love goes on and on. We're born, we live, we die, we're gone, but love goes on and on. Nice! So now stay standing, and this is a time to greet your neighbor. parts of the service is it on? That's one of my favorite parts of the service, is just the joy and the connection with people. So Reverend Anna says, and this is about joy, one very early morning, I drove my daughter to a distant location for a school event. We live where there are very few lights, so walking out the door to be bathed in black and sparkling white, well, it takes very little to convince me that there is far more deep, dark night and heaps more bright, flickering stars where we live than anywhere else in the world. Later, as I drove home, the small stars faded into the large star, which began to faintly brighten the sky over the big lake, and my eyes got wet with the peaceful joy of it all. Joy can be exuberant, of course, but it can also be quiet. The late theologian Leland Erdhart defined bliss as the place of no oughts. Joy, I do believe, is the same, no oughts. Just unbridled contentment, gladness, and gratitude. The stars are free, falling and rising right before my eyes, and I am filled with joy. And joy can also be found in stories. So Diane is in our children's area and has a story she's going to read.
Who doesn't hear a story? I wonder if Nadine would like to come a little bit closer. I could come closer to her, too. First, I wanted to show you something. I got a Valentine. Remember when Valentine's happened a few weeks ago? I got a really special Valentine in the mail from, I'll show you a picture, from a little girl who's about your size, and her name is Ada. She's my great-granddaughter.
Why?
And she sent that to me so that, because she lives a little ways away and I don't get to see her every day, so I can look at her picture and...
Why do you not get to see her every day?
Because she lives too far away.
Why does she live
Yeah.
so far?
So I get to look at her picture and I get to talk to her on the phone. See, Nadine? And she drew a picture for me on the Valentine. A picture of us holding hands.
Look.
Because we like each other a lot. And I'm really happy. It says we love you.
What does that say?
It says Happy Valentine's Day.
Why does it say Happy Valentine's Day?
And that was something that made me really happy. Is there anything that makes you really happy?
About doing flips.
What?
People
What?
doing flips on people and holding both hands and crawling on legs with beads.
Oh.
That is a trick. So I tried to do that on David's after earlier. With that guy back earlier. But his pants are a little more slithery than my daddy's.
Well, I have a story now about somebody called Gerald. Gerald is a giraffe. And the name of the story is Giraffes Can't Dance. Do you think that's true? And the story was written by a man called Giles Andrade, and the pictures were drawn by another man called Guy Parker Rees. Here's Gerald. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked, and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching off the trees, but when he tried to run around, He buckled at the knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos were into rock and roll. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. They look like they're having fun, don't they? The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel. And 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor, but the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool." "Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept up off the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket who'd seen Gerald earlier on, "but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music in those branches are those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you just want it to." With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying and his tail was swishing round. He looks like he's having fun. He threw his legs out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leaped up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful, his mouth was open wide. "I am dancing. Yes, I'm dancing. I am dancing," Gerald cried. Then, one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle. We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen. How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." And we have a song that's about being happy, and I'll bet you might already know it. The song is about joy, and joy is another word for happy. So let's see if we can sing this song. You can sing it with me. Tess, can you sing it with me too? Got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. We've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay.
I've got the
Joy, 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 down. Let's sing it through. You go.
Oh no, I gotta be looking at this. Here we go. So number 2. I've got
The love of Tess, Nadine, and Lucas down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the love of Tess, Nadine, and Lucas down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the love of USP down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the love of UCSB down in my heart, down in my heart to stay.
Good job. And I think Lucas has gone. All right. So now we're moving on to self-care. And again, Reverend Anna says, we are in a stressful time. No kidding. Thankfully, bit by bit, the sun has been waking up a little earlier. Okay, and my dogs have been waking up earlier, I have to say, and going to sleep a little later. And I've been able to take the hounds out for a romp in our woods once, twice, sometimes even 3 times a day. The fresh air and the quiet has calmed me. I've also bought seeds. All right, raise your hand. Who's looking forward to buying seeds? Yes. Short of onions, it's a bit too early to plant any of them in starter trays, but ordering them from my favorite catalog is an act of hope and defiance. Also, I've napped. Every day, as a matter of fact. It doesn't take much. Just 15 minutes, a snooze, sometimes with or without 2 huge dogs piled on me, who are very much not lap dogs, but are very much nap dogs. The rest has recalibrated, reclaimed, and energized me. There's also walks in the woods, seeds in boxes, naps on couches. Seriously, all signs of the reign of hope. All restore me to live more fully and purposefully in the reign of hope. And each one in its own way rejects the desecration of the earth, the creeping despair for the future, and the illusion and anxiety, and in fact arrogance of the notion that there is always more that must be done, and that without me it won't happen. Self-care has many aspects to it, and is unique to each of us. Self-care can be saying no or saying yes to activities, people and pets, taking naps, going for a walk or a run, eating healthy, or splurging on a special dessert. Self-care can include connecting with others. So thinking for a moment what self-care means to you, and thinking, is there something that you can commit to doing to caring for yourself this week?
We continue our self-care as we turn now to sharing what is in our hearts. This is our time for sharing the deep sorrows and special joys that are in our lives right now. Please come to the front, light a candle if you haven't already, share your name if you like, and share what's in your heart.
morning, everyone. My name is St. Patrick this morning. I come from the leprechaun land, and I want to wish every one of you a happy blessing of St. Patrick's Day. And yes, I am so cute in my leprechaun suit. I just figured out I have so much joy that I just had to dress up. But actually, I'm doing music this afternoon right after this. And I'm playing in a nursing home. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's all about having fun in life. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Nikki, and I hadn't really thought to come up here today until Lori talked about self-care. And as most of you know, I had a bilateral knee replacement, had the last one done in January. And one of the things that I did before the first surgery was I decided I was going to rent a recliner so that I could sleep downstairs in my house near the bathroom and the kitchen. And so I'm really getting along now. I'm doing very well. And it came time to give the recliner back to the rental place, and I thought, no, this is real self-care. I can't give this back. So I ended up buying the recliner. I never thought I would own one ever, but it's the most wonderful thing I've ever sat in and slept in my life. So that's a joy.
Hi, I'm Lori, and yesterday I got to go to the New England Country Dance Festival in Topsom. It's been on hiatus for 4 years, and it was just so fun to spend a whole day contra dancing. So if you see me kind of going like this when I get out of the chair, that's why. But it was wicked fun.
I lit one last candle for all of those joys and sorrows left unspoken, and to honor all of the self-care in our lives. Beauty. Anna says, my late husband and I were utterly broke for most of our marriage, but early on we decided that art mattered. By art, we meant works created by people whom we knew, whom we admired, who we saw exhibited in person, and which, in one way or another, touched us. Same with music. We opted to see as much live music as we could and purchase what we liked, so it would be at the ready in our ears when we wanted to hear rather than hum the tune. And good food. We didn't need to be gourmet quality and didn't need to be enjoyed at some outpriced restaurant or even any restaurant, but it did need to be good. We loved to go out. We loved to cook in. We loved to make a simple table or a simple plate simply elegant. And for all of this delight in art and music and food, we were willing to pay for it, broke as we were, because we saw it as a form of stewardship, of honoring art and music and good food, as well as the artists and musicians and farmers and chefs who made it. I still have that beauty from before around me, and I intentionally add to it every day. New pictures, new music, new food, and all the more these days, the beauty of forests and the big lake and a fire crackling in the stove. Doesn't need to be fancy, that is, just beautiful. I invite you now to think about beauty in your lives. What is there in your life that's particularly beautiful to you? What do you feel? What do you experience? Where do you find beauty in your space, in your life, in the world around you? It may not have to have meaning to anyone but you. Doesn't matter. What is beauty? Tell us. Shout it out. Anyone.
Honest quilt that you made.
Quilt.
Water.
Say it again.
Water.
Thank you.
My garden. My God. Potatoes.
Very good.
Grandchildren.
Yes.
Family.
Any more?
Life.
Lots of beauty.
Moral singing for social justice.
Aha. Yes, yes. We have lots of beauty around us here. I see lots of beauty as I look out at this room. And now we have a truly beautiful hymn, number 1064 in the turquoise hymnal. Please stand if you wish and as you are able.
So this is another reading from Anna, Reverend Anna. The word passion comes from the Latin word meaning to suffer. Anyone who has been in love can see the sense of that. If you care about something or someone, you are passionate about it. If you love them or it so much, then you are willing even to suffer. If you care, if you love, you necessarily invest yourself in whatever or whomever it is. If you say, that is, that you are passionately in love with your partner, then it's reflected in the way you treat your partner and the extent to which you enter into a shared life together. If you say you are passionately patriotic, then that's reflected in the way you treat your country, not just your part of it, but the entire country and its founding principles, and the extent to which you engage to make it better. Take it from me, your passions will drive you to sacrifice your time, your money, your priorities, and your momentary balance even. But life is worth living, and life is worth making it livable for others. So sure, life takes love, and life takes suffering. A life well lived takes passion. But take this also from me, the more passionate you are, the more alive you feel. And in related news, I am one very alive woman.
Now's the time in our service when we gather to take the offering. When we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts and our spirits, our time, our energy, our talents and skills to support the work of this church, here within our walls and out in the larger community. We also bring the gift of generosity, giving what we have for the work of the church to continue. As always, half of our offering today is sent out into the larger community to support the work of an agency or organization that is making a difference in the world. This month, we're sharing our offering with the Maine Reentry Network. They have recommended that in order to keep the donation local, we direct it to Esther House. If you are watching from home, donations may be made through the gift button at the top of our webpage, uuchurchsacobiddeford.com, or checks may be mailed to UUCSB, 60 School Street, Saco, Maine. This morning's offering will now be received.
Please join me as we extinguish the chalice. As we release this flame from its faithful service today, we allow the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our compassion, to fire our delight, to light our paths today, tomorrow, and always. And you may be seated. We have another reading by Anna, and believe me, there was a lot more that she wrote, and we condensed a lot of it. For Christians, what did I miss?
Lori, this is mine.
Oh, never mind.
You get the next one. And I've been looking forward to this one. Anna says, for Christians, this is the season of Lent. It's a season that all too often has been dedicated to the habits of the parched, of the sparse, of the self-sacrificial. Never been a fan of that, to be honest. It seems, when liturgically bound by 40 days, to be a bit like a religious role play, a tokenized effort. I do, though, value the intentional opportunity to stop and notice the habits of our faith and our life, the hope that Lent inspires us to do Lent all year long. And if we were to try that, perhaps we'd both own the validity for the perpetual question I'm hearing so often these days, and discover an antidote to the angst within it. And now, let us read responsively. Let us give up scarcity for Lent. Let's give up emotional flagellation for Lent. Instead, let's see and extend beauty. Let's invest in our well-being with neither guilt nor shame. Make some art. Make some feasts. Walk in the woods. Leave an anonymous present on a street corner. Resist, that is, with beauty, joy, self-care, and passion. These are not trite suggestions. They are many forms of defying despair and of the inbreaking of the reign of hope. And they are many promises that death is real, but life is realer.
Now it's my turn. So we're going to sing a new song, Rainbow, and I'm going to sing it a couple of times and then teach you guys so we can all sing it together. It's pretty simple. Rainbow friends, go where you're going to, do what you're gonna do, 'cause love is guiding you. Ready? Rainbow friends, go where you're gonna go, go what you're gonna do, 'cause love is guiding you. Let's do one more time. Rainbow friends, go where you're going to, do what you're gonna do, 'cause love is guiding you. So closing words, Reverend Anna says, it's always worth a reminder that the word Lent means spring. It's the season that bursts with the promise not of death, but of life. You can't resist it. The days do get longer. The snows do melt, what we did have. The green blades do rise. And so how do we fight the despair that is everywhere and overtaking us all? Be Lent, be spring, be the rain of hope, good of spirit. For spirit is nothing if not the spirit of beauty, joy, and passion. And spirit cares deeply about you, and so should you. Please stay seated while we enjoy the postlude.